5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 6 of SKT versus Hwaseung Oz. SKT just needs to win this game, whereas Hwaseung Oz needs to force an ace match. We have Hwaseung Oz bringing out Perfect Man as the purple Protoss there. Actually, that is Rain or By Sun. This is Perfect Man. Perfect Man is the blue Protoss at the 12 o'clock position, and By Sun is the purple Protoss at the 4 o'clock position. So, again, personally, I want to see an ace match because surely Hwaseung will send out Jaedong, and surely, well, it's hard to say who SKT would send out. Maybe they'll try to give Fantasy a second chance after the disappointing build order win game. Fantasy losing 14cc to Overpool, that's just normal. It was, I mean, if they were cross-map positions, there may have been a slight chance that Fantasy might have won, but it was not to be. But I think we'll likely see a Bisou versus Jaedong matchup, which would be absolutely epic. Both players playing at an extremely high level. In fact, the only Zerg player who can probably stop Bisou is Jaedong. Any other Zerg player, even the good ones, like your Hydras or your Zeros, I would have to give Bisou the edge. But against Jaedong, I don't know, 50-50. So, this game and it's sad to see that the ace match is going to be decided by these two players. Okay, I shouldn't be too harsh on Rain here. He's, okay, well, actually, no, I should be harsh on him. He's not a particular, Rain, aka By Sun. I should be harsh on him in his mirror matchup. He's actually not bad. He's 47% overall, but he's 33% against other Protoss. On the other hand, we have Perfect Man, who is far from perfect. He is a measly 28% against Protoss and 37% overall. So, you know, things not looking too good for Hwaseung Oz at this point. Here's hoping that Perfect Man can somehow win this game by hook or crook. I don't really care as long as you can force the ace match. Personally, I think Perfect Man should just go for some sort of DT build and GG if it doesn't work, so we can see the ace match. That's what all the fans want anyway. Hell, maybe even have the ace match anyway, and this game shouldn't count. Okay, well, those statements are surely controversial and never going to happen. Such is the state of StarCraft. And, you know, build order win. It's build order win. Fantasy went for the 14cc. He knew the risk. He knew the risk of economic cheese. Didn't pay off. The game could have been very different if Jaedong went for 12 hatch. Fantasy could have very well won, and this would be a SKT 4-2 victory. It does look like By Sun, aka Rain, is actually with the blue burst purple. I think that was actually the scout of Perfect Man. So Perfect Man looks like he's a bit paranoid about something, about some sort of proxy. Not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's wise to check. This is the map Neo Aztec, which is a 3-player map, by the way. So, bit cautious there by Perfect Man, which I think is good. You want to be careful. On the other hand, By Sun is content to simply chase around Perfect Man's probe with his Zealot there. Probe never going to be able to outrun the Zealot, but at the same time, the Zealot never going to be able to catch the probe, since they both move at the same speed. But the Dragoon coming out, oh, proxy action here coming from Perfect Man. He saw that there's no proxy by Sun, aka Rain. I'm not quite sure what to call him. I guess I'll call him By Sun. Anyway, by Sun here, whereas, well, Sun and Rain are sort of the opposite. I don't know why he would pick nicknames like that. Ugh. Anyway, Perfect Man, let's see what sort of proxy he puts down. 2 gateways, Robo Bay, Templar Archives, or Citadel plus Templar. What is this? Robo Bay. Okay, that's what he opted for. So we'll probably see some Reaver action here by Perfect Man. If this manages to catch, the SKT player By Sun unaware and kill quite a few probes, that could work out very well. By Sun has gone for the Citadel to get Templar Archive, surely, and that's not going to work out too well. For Robo Bay already built, Observatory is quick and cheap to get, and Observer's counter DTs are particularly well, as long as you have a few ground units on the map. So, I'm not quite sure that there's too much that well, we'll see what exactly happens here, what sort of pressure Perfect Man may put out, and how good his execution is. Personally, I like this sort of cheese. By Sun, not really able to scout too well. Perfect Man has some presence on the map with his Dragoons, and Bison not seemingly too anxious even to find out what's going on there. He has not opted to send out his... Well, okay, so he did have a probe in Perfect Man's base, so I think he does know something is up. Players are very good at counting buildings. Thing is, I'm not quite sure whether Bison actually managed to sneak that probe in. I don't think he did. Otherwise, why would he put down the expansion? And we see Perfect Man scouting out 2 cannons in a Nexus, so he knows his Reavers are going to cause massive havoc. And if he goes for an early pressure build, he will almost certainly win as long as he doesn't botch the execution too badly. Perfect Man with a nice sneak of his scout. Perfect Man also going to be able to see the Templar archive, so he knows that he needs to put down an observatory to deal with these Dark Templar. Thing is, Perfect Man put down an observatory at his base. I don't know whether there's enough time for that Dark Templar or for observers to actually go back into his base. But this may be, in fact, a very, very close game. The Dark Templar out in the middle of the field already. That Dragoon blocking the Dark Templar for a critical few seconds. I think that is exactly what Perfect Man needed. He's bought some time. He's morphing buildings or warping buildings at his front. And that is going to hopefully stop BT from coming in. I don't know whether that's a solid wall or not. I don't know where the Reaver is. He needs to get a Reaver out to counterattack sooner rather than later. As long as this is a solid wall, he should be fine. Okay, the Reaver is coming out. He needs to put down a cannon to defeat that Dark Templar. And he needs to put the cannon down now rather than later. A cannon going down in the main base for Rain or Bison, but now Reaver coming out. Bison does not see this. He does not react well. Only 3 kills on that Reaver. Things could be much worse. That Scarab doing good damage. 6 kills, 7 kills. That warping cannon is destroyed, and this shuttle is going to be forced to withdraw with the presence of Dragoons coming here. Reasonable damage done by Bison. I'm not sure it's absolutely critical. I have no idea why he didn't build a cannon in his base. That forge is going to go down. Maybe he's waiting for his observer. I don't know where the observer is either. That Dark Templar going to run into Perfect Man's base. Perfect Man, he has a cannon critically defending his mineral line, so he loses 2 probes. Things are not looking too bad for Perfect Man, except for the fact that he does not have an expansion over Bison. Bison is going to need to defend hard here at his front. He needs a Reaver out, or he needs a few more Dragoons. He also cannot get arrogant like Bess. He needs to be absolutely sure and plunk down. He is putting down quite a few cannons at his front. He also needs to build a few hard units like Dragoons just to be sure that he doesn't lose. There are 2 Reavers out now for Perfect Man. If he can micro those Reavers perfectly, he can still win the game. After all, cannons do absolutely nothing against Reavers. And there are 2 Templar there, though. If Storm is upgraded, 2 Storms are exactly what he needs to take out the Reavers. So this game may very well come down to the 2 Storms. I'm not sure whether Perfect Man realizes that there are High Templar out. Nice Storm there, but one of the Reavers managing to dodge. The second Reaver almost going down there. One, the High Templar goes down critically. Second Reaver barely surviving. Nice Storm there, but not catching the Reaver. Really, the Reaver is what needs to die. Another great Storm, killing quite a few of the Dragoons, but Perfect Man losing too many of his Dragoons. One of his Reavers runs into a cannon. This is certainly hardly perfect micro. I don't know what Perfect Man, he lost way too many units to come back from this, and Bison can just buy time. Here, he's got an Archon out even. Archon able to attack the shuttle. The shuttle almost going down. Archon versus Reaver. Reaver using good shuttle micro, but just not quite enough. Archon taking out the Reaver and the shuttle. One of the blows was avoided, though, by the Reaver getting picked up into the shuttle, but too little, too late. Perfect Man now with a few Dragoons at the front, whereas Rain has 2 bases established. He's going to be able to outproduce Perfect Man here. His Storms were okay. They managed to catch 1 Reaver, but the Storms on the Dragoons, I guess, turned out to be more critical because the 2 great Storms killed pretty much all the Dragoons that Perfect Man had. So it looks like we are not going to see an ace match, somewhat disappointingly. I don't know, Perfect Man performing rather poorly. Is that a Dark Templar by Bison? Has he blocked off the choke point of Perfect Man's base? That would be really, really pathetic. And it looks like that's exactly the case. Perfect Man does not have Observer there to spot that. Bison using tricks to delay. After all, he knows that as long as he can delay he will almost certainly win. Now, Perfect Man elevatoring his units into Baisun's base, but Baisun, with a pylon, going to spot this. This actually was a fairly good maneuver, but now his forces are caught as they are being ferried over, and this is going to be yet another defeat, I fear, for Perfect Man. He's going to lose his Dragoons getting caught there as they were being ferried over, and that was another heavy blow to his forces. I mean, the game was over when he couldn't break the front, but now it's just kind of sad to watch Perfect Man trying everything that he can think of to potentially come back here, just not with enough execution. Those are surely SKT1 fans. They know that SKT is on the cusp of victory here. Or maybe those fans are praying hard for some sort of a miracle. Maybe my son can have a stroke in the middle of the match. That's pretty much the only way Perfect Man can win at this point, so we can see a Jaedong versus Bisu game. But fate has conspired to prevent such a destined matchup from happening. I guess if fate prevents it, that's not a destined matchup. And probe action here at the 9 o'clock position, not that it matters much. There are 3 High Templar out for Baisun in front of his base. Tons of cannons. This is pretty much an unbreakable defense. 4 High Templar even. 1 Reaver is going to do absolutely nothing here. Reaver getting a cheeky hit off on those Dragoons, but a Storm coming out. Nice attempt to pick up by the Shuttle, but that Reaver getting caught by a second Storm, and now those Dragoons picking off the Shuttle. A desperate attempt by Perfect Man to break those Storm over his forces, weakening them significantly, and Perfect Man losing nearly all his Dragoons, not even able to do any sort of real damage. This surely is over. GG coming from Perfect Man. No ace match. SKT wins the series 4-2. Going on, I wish we were going on to an ace match, but anyway, thank you for watching.
쭉쭉 연승을 이어나갔기 때문에 이미 격차가 벌어졌고요. 남은 2경기 최선을 다하는 모습을 보여주긴 하겠지만 결승에 직행했기 때문에 이제 느긋한 마음으로 준 플레이오프, 플레이오프에 올라온 팀이 어디냐에 따라서 맞춰갈 수가 있습니다. 네, 자 정말 화승도 고생을 많이 했는데요. 오늘 결국에 이제 SK텔레콤 T1에 전쟁을 막지 못했네요.
그렇습니다. 화승 오즈 지금 음악은 SK텔레콤 T1을 어느 정도 축하해주는 음악이 나오고 있긴 합니다만 화승 오즈는 아직까지 리그가 끝나지 않았거든요.
그렇죠.
네, 주인공 싸움이 아직까지 치열하기 때문에 화승 오즈는 좀 더 집중할 필요가 있겠고 SK텔레콤 T1은
저는 이제 시상식 때문에 좀 나가봐야 될 것 같습니다. 예. 네. 야, 1위 올라갔어요. 확실히 SK텔레콤 T1의 저력은 끝이 어디인지를 쉽게 예상할 수 없는 것 같습니다. 이번 시즌 내내 1위 자리에 있다가 잠깐 내려오기도 했었지만 결과적으로 이제 6라운드 때 전승을 계속 달려주면서 그렇죠. 이제 정규 시즌 우승이라는 좋은 타이틀을 또 한 번 거머쥐게 됐네요.
그렇습니다. 5라운드의 기세가 6라운드까지